Have you seen this giant leche flan on your feed lately? Well, this street food version has been trending and I'm not really surprised why. I mean, we already know leche flan is amazing, but this just takes it to the next level. It's massive and it looks so good. Like when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, I need to try this at home because I knew I wouldn't find this in New Zealand anyway, so I gotta make it myself. So today I'm making my own giant leche flan and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it at home. Trust me, it's easier than it looks, and I've tested this a few times and figured out what makes it smooth and creamy, so I will give you some useful tips along the way so you don't end up wasting your expensive eggs. As usual, you can find the full written recipe on lilacdiaries.com. First, we're going to make the caramel. Heat your pan on low to medium heat, then add white sugar and water. You can use granulated white sugar or caster sugar. I'm using caster sugar right now because that's what I have, but it shouldn't have much difference anyway. We will keep it on low to medium heat because we don't want the pan to get too hot, otherwise we might burn the caramel. So we'll just leave the pan and let the sugar melt for now. After a few minutes, it will start to caramelize and turn into light brown color. You might be tempted to stir it, but don't do that. You can gently swirl the pan though so it melts evenly. The problem with stirring it is crystals and clumps of sugar will form, and we don't want that at all because it will make the caramel all grainy and it won't be smooth. So just keep swirling and cook it until it turns golden brown and it's smooth. It should be fully melted and there shouldn't be any sugar granules left. Get your 7-inch cake pan and get it ready so it's really close to your caramel. So once it's golden and smooth like this, pour it straight into the cake pan. And be really quick here because the caramel hardens really fast. Quickly swirl it to make sure that the caramel is fully covering the base of the pan, and it will be really hot, so you will need to be wearing oven mitts. And make sure you don't burn yourself because the caramel is really hot. Even a small splash can burn your skin, so just be careful here. You can leave it to cool completely for now while we make the custard. So let's move on to making the flan or the custard. In a big bowl, add egg yolks. This has to be at room temperature to make sure that it mixes smoothly with the other ingredients. Add condensed milk, evaporated milk, and vanilla extract. Mix this gently and don't whisk too hard to avoid forming too many air bubbles. By the way, we're only using egg yolks here. I find that adding the egg yolks make the flan rich and creamy. But when I add whole eggs, it becomes airy and kind of floppy. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's just less creamy, if that makes sense. Gently whisk everything together and don't overmix it or you'll get air bubbles and holes in your flan, and we don't want that. We want silky and smooth flan. To make the flan extra smooth, we're going to strain the mixture to remove any air bubbles and any small clumps of egg yolks. And I recommend doing this twice. Straining is super easy to do, so don't skip this step. The second time we'll just get rid of ugly clumps of egg yolks that might have passed through the first time that we strained it. I know it's extra effort to pull out your strainer and then clean it after, but trust me on this, it's definitely worth it. So yes, make sure that you strain your flan mixture. To cook the flan, you can either bake it or steam it. So for steaming, you will probably need to have a big enough steamer that can fit a 7-inch cake pan. If you choose to do this, you can steam it for about 45 minutes on low heat. Alternatively, if you have an oven, you can bake it in a water bath instead, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So place the cake pan inside a deep baking tray like this. Fill it with hot water about a few centimeters up the sides of the cake pan. Cover the pan loosely with foil. It doesn't have to be too tight. And if you're wondering why we're doing this, so the foil will just stop any water droplets from getting into the pan when you're steaming it or baking it. If you're using a conventional oven, then bake it at 150 degrees Celsius, or if you have a fan-forced oven like me, you can bake it at 140 degrees Celsius. You probably noticed that we are baking it at relatively low heat and the baking time is quite long. And it's because if we cook it at high heat, the flan will start boiling and form bubbles. We would end up with flan with small holes, and it will also taste rubbery, so low and slow is the key thing here. To check if it's done baking, you can insert a toothpick and it should come out clean. I baked mine for 80 minutes and it was all good to go at that time. It will be slightly jiggly in the middle of the flan, which is perfectly fine. Don't worry about this, it will completely set when it cools down. Once it's cooked, let it cool completely at room temperature, then chill it in the fridge for at least 4 hours, or if you can wait, you can leave it overnight as well. This will just help the flan firm up, and it will also give the caramel some time to soak into the flan. When you're ready to unmold it, run a thin knife around the edges of the flan. And if you feel like the caramel seems stuck on the pan, then you can dip the bottom of the cake pan in warm water for about 10 seconds to loosen it a little bit. Place a serving plate on top of the cake pan, then carefully invert the flan onto the plate so that the caramel side is on top like this. So if you like this giant flan recipe, don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Lilac Diaries for more recipes and updates. See you in the next video. Bye!